Hey everyone, welcome to Love Vibe TV. I'm so happy you're here. I want to share with you today a really huge power tool that I can't even imagine living without. And I know I share tools and teachings all the time that I swear by. And I do tend to use a lot of tools a lot of the time. So as you collect these, then you'll notice that your life will change with so much more ease. And today we're going to talk about what I call the umbrella mantra. And for all of the Super Love community who are working with me privately, you already know about this, but this is something where we're going to get to the exact words that are like that magnet for what it is you're wanting to create. And as a result, it really brings up your frequency and makes you feel so good. So what do you need these for? Well, here's the thing. Like when we are living our life over the years, we collect all of these beliefs and stories and ways of being that oftentimes have just come from mirroring people around us or just, buying into what society says or what we've decided was real a long time ago that may not even be real for us now. I've talked about this a lot, that our relationship stuff is formed before the age of 7. So you can imagine if we don't ever look at that again, then we may be functioning from some really limiting things. I mean, a lot of the abandonment issues and fear of rejection and not feeling good enough, all of that stuff can be sort of born from that place. And then, over time, if we collect relationships that didn't work out, we can make some pretty interesting conclusions. Like for me, I really didn't have a problem with relationships when I was in my 20s. I just thought, oh, it's not that hard. You just go to a party and you meet people and you see who you like. And then, you get to know them and maybe you go on some dates. And it just seemed like it just would unfold pretty easily. My first love was actually someone I asked out, and then we ended up staying together for years, and he was a really great guy. It's just that when you then run into a situation where things don't work out, so later on in my life when I was no longer in a college setting and I was in the corporate world and not necessarily always hanging out with single people or people who were available or my age or interests, then it started seeming harder. And instead of being aware of, oh yeah, this is just a different time of my life, unconsciously I was thinking, well, there must be something really wrong with me because I'm seeing all my friends getting married and so and so and so. So that, what happens is then we start living with that filter. So the reason why these super loved umbrella mantras are really powerful is it makes it easier to change that filter, because when you've had something that has been, speaking in your mind, an inner critic or a belief that's just been running for years and years and years, it's like a deep groove in your neural pathways that just automatically is going off. So it's going to take really some grit and some consciousness to move from those old ways to a different program, almost like you're changing the cassette tape, and then you get to see a different result, because it really is our thoughts that create our emotions, which impacts our mood and our attitude, which then impacts what we see in the world. Our inner world is pushed out into our outer world. And a lot of people have, some resistance to that, because it's like, well, I didn't create war or whatever. There's a lot of fear around that. But what if we could start changing our life from the inside out, which we can, and actually have exactly what we desire. So this is a really amazing first step, because what I know is that these old ways of being, these old thoughts of, oh, things never work out for me, or there's no good ones out there, any of those kinds of things can be very, very, very seductive. And if you are just used to functioning in pain and suffering or things not working out, sometimes that's actually more comfortable than just being happy. It can be an unhappiness habit. So I noticed that, I see that in a lot of people where they grew up in some chaos and conflict, and that if things are working out, it almost feels like nothing. It's almost boring. Same with relationships. If you're used to being in chaotic relationships or toxic relationships, sometimes a really good guy or person that you meet that could be a love interest may kind of feel boring, because it's just doesn't have that charge to it. And even though the charge is also creating stress and pain, that there is something normal about it. So we have to be gentle with ourselves and know that sometimes this can be a little bit more of, I would say, it just takes persistence. Let's say, I don't want to say effort. I don't want to say hard, because it's not really that. It's just being willing to be persistent. It's being willing to suspend your disbelief and being willing to be aware that those old ways, once you've identified them, wow, I do tend to see things, glass half full, or I tend to feel like things aren't working out for me, or my dating life has been crap. Like, it can be easy to just leave it at that. But what if you can suspend your disbelief and go, okay, what else is possible? And use this, which we're going to do in a second. I'm sorry it's taking so long to get there, but it's worth it, because I need, you're going to want to know what this is as a foundation first. So those old ways of being are very, very, very seductive. Very seductive. Those inner critics, you've known them for a while. It seems so familiar and real and true. But I'm asking you to step beyond that, because the only way to see something different is to be willing to go beyond what you've already known. And I think the quote from Einstein is, you can't change a problem from the consciousness it was created in, something like that. And it's totally true. So what's beautiful about the SuperLOVED umbrella mantra is that it's a kind of an easy vehicle to go from the old to the new, almost like it's just like magic, and it's super easy to do. So because when you have that, it's like you have a go-to tool for when things are, when you may be in the middle of an inner critic attack. If you've ever felt like that, like, oh my God, like that hopeless feeling, that freeze feeling, that's a time when, if you have something quick and easy to grab, like, people who go on hikes, they make sure they have a power bar or something like that, so that if their sugar goes down, they can quickly get a hit of sugar or, food to bring their energy back. So it's kind of like that. This is what this mantra is. It's kind of like the power bar for consciousness. Oh, that's so fun. A power bar for consciousness. I love it. So, so how do you get to a SuperLOVED mantra? Because this is going to be specific to you. So I would right now consider, what's something you want to create in your life? Maybe it's more money, or maybe it's calling in your beloved, or maybe it's a new job or a new place to live. Whatever it is, go to that place. And it actually can include more than one. You can have multiple things. So let's just bring up the awareness of what the life that you want to have, like what you are aware of about the life you want to have. And for a moment, suspend your disbelief. Do not let any of the inner critics in. Just be in that dreamlike place of what I would love, what would be so fun for me, what I've always wanted that I never thought I could get. Go to that. What I've always wanted that I never thought I could have. This is the unicorn kind of vision, right? What I really wanted that I never thought I could have. And notice what pictures may pop up. Notice what you're sensing and perceiving about that. You know, are you cuddled with a partner? Are you traveling the world? Are you seeing your bank account with extra zeros and more money than you can spend? What are you seeing? Bring it up. Go there. Even if you don't believe me, go there and notice what that is creating in your body. Notice it and lowering any barriers to receiving this right now. So as I say those words, lowering any barriers, notice the barriers lowering and be in that space of sensing and perceiving the future you would like to have now. So as you do that, then consider, what is it that you would say about that? If you were just to tell a friend or call up a friend and say, what would you say? Things like, I am so happy. Everything is totally working out. I never thought this could happen, and it did. I am so lucky. I am so giddy in love. I am so grateful that we found each other. I am so excited. Like, it's going to be a very short kind of phrase. I like to use, things are always working out for me. Something like that makes me really happy. I also love the one that's, oh, it's so wonderful. It's so exciting. Those are kinds of things I would naturally say. So find that phrase that you would naturally say. And, you know, I even used to say, oh, I found my unicorn when I first met Larry. That's what I actually was saying. So thinking about what you imagine you would say, and that is your mantra. This isn't like what we've seen before, where it's like a long Sanskrit mantra that is hard to remember, or a complicated affirmation that goes on and on. This is getting to the umbrella mantra, which the reason why I like to call it that is because what's really cool about an umbrella mantra, like things are always working out for me, what that holds for me, and you will know what yours holds and find the one that holds the most for you. Things are always working out for me is such a good one for me because it holds my money flows are growing and expanding. It holds my relationship is really fun and, you know, full of vitality. It holds that my body feels healthy and good. It holds that I have so many fun things I'm looking forward to. It holds all of it. All of it. And even, you know, if you have a couple different ones, like if you have one for like, I am so lucky I found him, like something like that for connecting with your beloved, you can have another one that are like, things are working out for me for other parts of your life. You can have a couple of these short ones, but I really encourage you to have fun with this. If the mantra that you land on doesn't like ignite, like light up every part of you, then keep looking. And the best way to do it is to pretend that a miracle happened in your life and everything unfolded perfectly, and you are calling up your bestie and telling them, or you're texting them and you're like, this is amazing. I cannot wait to tell you everything that's happened. These kinds of simple phrases and words that you would go to right away is, you know, how you know you've hit that like sweet spot. And what's beautiful about that is every time you say it, and it's easy to remember, every time you say it, you'll notice your energy is alive. And when your energy is alive and you're in that space of having it, so that's the key here is about being in that space of having everything that you desire, then you naturally will actualize it. It's already a given that your desires are a promise to you. The thing that keeps you from it are, one, giving up, just totally throwing in the towel and going to hopelessness. Two, if your dominant thoughts are on the negative side, are nothing works for me, and they just like the desire is just kind of a dim flicker in the background, then, it's kind of like neglecting yourself. It's a rejection of yourself, really. And for those of you who have a lot of fear of rejection, look there first. Like, are you rejecting yourself? Because really, rejection only is a rejection of self only. No one can reject you. No one. Even if they don't like you or they're not interested in you, that's about them. So that's probably a whole nother video. So anyway, so this is really key. So finding that mantra that takes you up to this super high vibe. It's like up, 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 this electric, amazing, expansive energy that naturally helps you see more and more in your life. And when you start seeing it, the gift you can give yourself is to say, wow, that is a miracle. It is a miracle that I planted these bulbs and now they are these beautiful daffodils. It is a miracle that I have an abundance of cherry tomatoes in my garden. It is a miracle that my friend called me and I was just thinking about them. All of these things you want to continue to acknowledge, and then the cycle grows even stronger and stronger. So therefore, then you can come back to, wow, yes, what's working for me? Start naming what's working for you, and then continue to use the mantra to call in more and more and more and more. And no matter what, be the one who says no to the inner critic, says no to the old ways of being, says no to those old thoughts. And over time, you just won't buy them anymore. It may take a minute for you to not get seduced and sort of tricked by it every once in a while, but you'll look back and go, oh yeah, I got kind of caught up in that thing again. So when you notice those times where you kind of went off course a little bit with this, it's not a reason to beat yourself up or say you can't do it. It's just like, oh, okay, well, what could that have looked like, and kind of do a little mental rehearsal. Sometimes I like to do a mental rehearsal and like replay it where I went to my mantra. And I saw myself making that choice. And as you do that, then it becomes a habit. So it takes some time to keep practicing this so that it becomes a habit. And then before you know it, you will have exactly what you want. And I am proof of that. I see it with my clients all the time. And if this is something that you are committed to, it absolutely is guaranteed to work. And if you want to talk more about how you can create your love life or anything else in your life, message me. I'd love to have a chat with you. Please do share Love Vibe TV with any of your unicorn sisters who may be feeling like things aren't working and could use a little boost. You could get to be their miracle and already let your mantra work for you. So share with me what your mantras are. I'd love to hear what you're going to be using for the next however long. I mean, I don't see not using it. So share with me your mantra and what it is you're excited that it holds for you, because remember, it's an umbrella mantra. It holds a lot of different things. And I cannot wait to read your comments and see what you are creating, and certainly come back here and share your results. Thanks for being here. I love you, and we'll see you really soon. Bye, everyone.